Welcome to North Metro TV News. Thank you for joining us this week. I'm Rusty Ray. First up, Blaine leaders tried a new approach to find money to fix Highway 65. Last week, members of the City Council, along with city staff, flew to Washington, D.C. to bring their message of safety directly to members of Congress. Danica Peterson has the story.
Blaine has been looking at potential new road designs for Highway 65 for a few years now, specifically looking at how to make the area from 97th Avenue to 117th Avenue safer and faster to travel.
Highway 65 has at least 4 intersections right here in the heart of Blaine that we're looking to improve, and grade separation is really what we're talking about. And so we are definitely talking bridges, and that's not a cheap proposition to do.
Right now, about 14% of the money needed for the construction is secured, so there's still a long way to go.
The all-in cost is probably in the $160+ million range. We've assembled grants of $20 to $25 million. We do have several requests in the current state infrastructure bill.
And last week, Public Works Director John Hawkes, along with council members Julie Jepson and Jess Robertson, took their funding request directly to Washington.
The Appropriation Committee at the federal level had a deadline for the request, so we wanted to make sure that we got out in front of the asks.
The ask they brought to Washington? Help us fix 2 intersections that are very busy and some of the most prone to accidents in the state.
We have one to complete the intersection of 99th, and then there's an ask in for 109th that I believe originated from Anoka County. In total, depending on if the asks are granted at what the ask is actually for, somewhere in the $11 to $14 million ballpark.
Ultimately, they say, it was a basic thing to ask for.
Everyone needs to expect a certain level of safety, and that road, Trunk Highway 65, is not giving that safety.
In the process of visiting the Capitol with former Congressman Rick Nolan, this Blaine delegation had the opportunity to meet a number of lawmakers who could help 65 get the funding it needs.
It was very odd, actually. I think I joked a couple of times. It was like watching C-SPAN in real time. It was an unprecedented experience. You know, we went in with expectations that we're going to meet, our elected delegation here from the state of Minnesota, but to have unprecedented access through former Congressman Rick Nolan, to be able to shake hands with Joe Manchin and Cory Booker and other high-profile elected officials, it was an experience.
And so I was just fangirl, like watching all of these, like we crossed Mitt Romney in the hallway. I'm like, oh, it was amazing. It was so cool, but they're just normal people like you and I. And they want to know about how this infrastructure impacts our families, how this infrastructure or lack of infrastructure, depleting infrastructure impacts our daily lives, because their roads impact their daily lives.
They were able to share the story of 65, and they hope it will bring positive results. So they'll keep sharing the message with anyone who could help bring this funding to the city.
The city of Blaine needs to continue focusing on our priorities, and our #1 priority is Trunk Highway 65. It's too important for this city.
I think we've got some really good momentum to carry this across the finish line.
For North Metro TV News, Danica Peterson reporting.
Blaine city leaders are hosting an open house on Tuesday, May 24th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the National Sports Center for anybody who wants to learn more about the future of Highway 65. There's also an online open house available for you to check out anytime at the website blainemn.gov/thrive on 65.